It's story time. Story time. Let's read it story time. Story time. I'm geek this story time. Story time. You and me, it's story time. Story time. Let's achieve. Hello, everyone, and welcome to story time with me, Kayla. How's everyone doing out there? I hope you're doing well, making sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay with the positivity. Now, guess what? Today, we have another special author feature. We will take a look at a book from author Shonta Watson, who is the author and creator of Shea Buttah and the Herbal Kids series. She is an educator and artist who wanted to spread positivity to the kids in her community. So, without further ado, the book we will be reading tonight is called Shea Buttah's First Day of School, written by Shonta Watson and illustrated by Shonta Watson and Carlos G. You ready to see what this book is all about? Ready, set, let's begin. Whoosh. Shea Buttah's First Day of School by Shonta Watson, illustrated by Shonta Watson and Carlos G. Aspire. Here we go. She signed it for us. It says, "Thank you for your support, Shonta Watson." Thank you, Shonta. You have no idea how much this submission means to me. I appreciate your love and support always. Here we go. "Good morning, Shea. How did you sleep last night?" her mother asked. "I couldn't sleep because I was so excited about my first day of school today. I can't wait to make new friends," Shea Buttah replied. "I'm so excited for you too. You are going to have such a wonderful time with everyone. You are going to have a new teacher, new classroom, and tons of friends," her mother said. "So let's brush our teeth and bathe so we can have breakfast." Her mother made a fruit salad with apples, cantaloupe, honeydew, cherries, oranges, and strawberries. She also made waffles, Shea Buttah's favorite, and turkey sausages. She poured a glass of chocolate almond milk for Shea Buttah and green tea for herself. "Mom, this food looks so good. And you know I love to eat," Shea Buttah said. Her mom laughed. "I know you do, Shea Buttah. That's why I made this special breakfast to get you pumped on your first day of school," she said. "Now, eat your breakfast so we can make it to school on time." Aww. On their way to school, her mother turned on the radio. Shea's favorite singer was playing on the radio. "Turn it up, Mom," Shea Buttah said. "This is my song." Shea Buttah and her mother sang their hearts out as if they were on stage performing the song to thousands of fans. That's definitely like being in the car with me. "Shea, we're here. Are you ready for your first day of first grade?" her mother asked. "Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready," Shea Buttah replied, excited. Her mother gave Shea Buttah her backpack and lunch, walked into the classroom, and saw the teacher, Mrs. Sage. Aw. Do you remember your first grade teacher? Name? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Holistic School of Performing Arts and Science. Your classroom number is 203. Please calmly walk to the coat closet and put away your belongings. No pushing or shoving, young ladies and gentlemen. Shea Buttah walked over to Mrs. Sage. "Hello, I'm Shea Buttah Johnson, and I'm 6.5 years old. How are you today?" "I'm great, Shea Buttah," Mrs. Sage replied. "You look so pretty and colorful today." "Thank you. I wanted to get fly on my first day of school. This is my favorite outfit." After the students got settled, Mrs. Sage stood in front of the class. "Good morning, class. My name is Mrs. Sage, and I will be your teacher for this school year. You will learn so many cool things. I have tons of great activities for you to do. And I hope we will all have an exciting year," she said. "So enough about me. I want you all to tell me a little bit about yourselves. Start by stating your first and last name, age, and your favorite things to do." Welcome, students. And look at the beautiful African art. The first student stood up and introduced herself to the class. Hello, my name is Amin Joy Jones. You can call me AJ. I'm 6 years old, and I love to dance, sing, act, and one day be a fashion designer. Shea Buttah blurted, Yes, girl, yes! Mrs. Sage looked up at Shea Buttah. Shea Buttah, no outburst. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. She does look decent, though, she replied. I understand, Shea Buttah, but we cannot rudely interrupt our friends, Mrs. Sage said. Okay, Mrs. Sage called on the next student. Well, that's still good. She's showing some empowerment to her fellow sister. Greetings, my fellow sisters and brothers. My name is Kwanzaa Ujima Davis, and I'm 6 years old. My favorite things to do is read about history and ride my skateboard. I also love airplanes. One day, I want to own all the airplanes in the world. Shea Buttah was amazed at how she and many of her classmates had a lot of things in common. The excitement was overwhelming, but she knew she had to follow Mrs. Sage's directions. No outburst. It was now time for Shea Buttah to introduce herself. Hey y'all, my name is Shea Buttah Johnson. I'm 6.5 years old, and one day I'm going to be a star. I know that's right, Almond Joy said, snapping her fingers in the air. Now that's enough, Almond. I ask that you all respect each other while introducing yourselves, Mrs. Sage said. I know we all would like to speak at once, but we can't hear Shea Buttah speak if we're all talking. I'm sorry, Mrs. Sage, Almond Joy said. I just got so excited. Shea Buttah is amazing. Mrs. Sage chuckled. It's okay. Just be mindful. Shea Buttah continued her introduction. I love to sing, dance, act, dress, and be fabulous like Beyonce. I also like gardening with my grandmother. I also love to eat. There are a lot of things I want to do when I grow up, but I haven't decided yet. I want to be a choreographer, photographer, chef, and an archaeologist. Mrs. Sage chuckles. Do you mean archaeologist? Yeah, that one, Shea Buttah replied. Shea Buttah, that is an exciting life you will have. When will you have time for yourself? Mrs. Sage asked. Mrs. Sage, a star doesn't have a lot of time for herself. If I want to be everything, I must work hard, Shea Buttah said. My mommy said I can be anything I want to be. Including a star. When Shea Buttah completed her introduction, Mrs. Sage started with the lesson of the day, growing fruits and vegetables. It's important that we eat fresh fruits and vegetables to help us stay healthy and strong. It is also important that we all learn how to grow our own food as well. By a show of hands, who likes to eat fruits and vegetables? Most of the children raised their hands. A few disliked them. Mrs. Sage, my family and I plant food all the time. My grandmother has a garden, and she plants tomatoes, peppers, cabbage, cucumbers, carrots, squash, and greens. She also has an apple tree, too, Shea Buttah said. That's wonderful, Shea Buttah. Do you help with the gardening? Yes, Shea Buttah said, but my grandmother always fusses at me because she says I'm greedy. But I can't help it. Those tomatoes and apples taste so good. I just can't help myself. Be careful, Shea. Always know that before eating any fruits or vegetables, make sure they have been rinsed and cleaned thoroughly with vinegar and water to get the dirt and chemicals off. Then rinse them off again, Mrs. Sage said. Kwanzaa raised his hand. Did you know that it is important for Africans to eat fruits and vegetables? Why is that, Kwanzaa? Mrs. Sage asked. Well, our ancestors ate lots of fruits and vegetables. They also ate grains, wheat, rye, and beans too, Kwanzaa replied. And they didn't drink dairy products because their bodies were lactose intolerant. Mrs. Sage laughed. You mean intolerant? Yes, ma'am, he replied. When times changed because of slavery, our ancestors had to eat what was available. They were left with scraps from the big house. They got sick all the time. My father told me because Africans have poor diets, we get sick faster. Yes, Kwanzaa, that is true. Thank you, Mrs. Sage. My father said that it's my duty and honor to tell my people. Okay, children, it's almost time for lunch. Let's clean our areas and get ready to make our way to the cafeteria. Some culture right there. History lesson. The children quickly cleaned their areas and calmly got in straight lines. Mrs. Sage walked the children to the dining area. Before the children were able to eat their food, they had to learn about the dining area rules. So Mr. Pomegranate blew his whistle to get the children's attention. Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Pomegranate. Before we dig into our wonderful lunches, there are a few rules that we must follow in the dining area. 1, we must pray over our food before we eat. 2, no running or jumping is allowed while others eat. 3, clean up your areas after eating. 4, no fighting or any forms of disrespect will be tolerated. 5, use your inside voice and have a wonderful lunch. They had a great time during lunch. All the children interacted and laughed with each other. When everyone was finished, it was time for recess. Some of the students ran up and down on the grass, while others played with balls, hula hoops, bubbles, jump ropes, and chalk to write on the ground. These rules will follow along at home, too. Do you do any of these rules while you eat before you eat at home? I hope so. In the performing arts area, Shea Buttah and Almond Joy were making up dance moves. Hey, Shea, do you want to make up a dance group? We can call ourselves the Candy Girls. Sure, Shea Buttah replied, but there are only 2 of us. We need one more person. The girls walked around to look for another girl to join their group. But all the girls were either hula hooping, jumping rope, blowing bubbles, or playing on the swings. Finally, they approached a girl who was picking flowers in the school's garden. They both walked up to her and said, "Hey, what's your name?" She looked up at them and said, "I'm Ginger Root." "Well, I'm Shea Buttah, and this is my friend Almond Joy, and we are the Candy Girls." "Why do you call yourselves the Candy Girls?" Ginger Root asked. "Because we are sugar, spice, and everything nice," Almond Joy replied. Ginger Root chuckled. "Oh, that sounds cool. Well, would you like to join us?" Shea Buttah asked. "What do I have to do?" "Just dance, sing, and slay," Almond Joy said. "I can dance, I can slay, but I can't sing," Shea Buttah laughed. "It's okay. We're stars anyway. So when you shine like we do, you can do anything." They headed back to the performing arts area. Shea Buttah played a song on her cell phone. The Candy Girls performed the latest dance moves. All the other children ran to the area and clapped and cheered with excitement. Aww, they're uplifting each other. Soon after the bell rang, it was time to return to class. Mrs. Sage put on classical music to calm the atmosphere. She gave each student a pillow and they all took a nap. At 2 p.m., it was time for them to wake up from their naps. They put their pillows in their cubbies, grabbed their backpacks, and waited for their parents to pick them up. Moments later, Shea Buttah's mother walked into the classroom. "Hey, Shea, how was your day?" "Mommy, it was so much fun," she replied, excited. "We introduced ourselves, we talked about fruits and vegetables, I made new friends, we created a group called the Candy Girl." "Slow down, Shea Buttah," her mother said. "That's a lot for one day." "Mommy, it was amazing. I want to learn forever." Mrs. Sage smiled and waved as Shea Buttah and her mother drove off. She looked out of the window and into the sky. She smiled and said, "Thank you, God, for letting me shine bright today. I love you." Aww. And here's her dedication page. Shout out to her daughter Ricky, her partner Kia, and her mother, brother, and niece Kendall. Hey, shout out to all of you all. And she also wants to give thanks to Carlos for assisting her on this project. Yay! And there she is. The end. And I love this. Aspire. A sister providing inspiration, realness, and empowerment. Okay. The end. Yes, K Crew. Wasn't this such a wonderful book? Now, I know a lot of you all out there already had your last day of school, but that is completely okay because this book is a perfect reminder that we all still have time, no matter when, to create and learn something new every day. Now, I enjoy reading this book for a couple of reasons, but the fact that the characters uplifted and encouraged each other really stood out to me, which really made me happy. Now, to find your copy of Shea Buttah's First Day of School, make sure to visit her website and also be sure to follow her on social media. And guess what, K-Crew? Miss Shonta also sent in her affirmation book. I wanted to spend more time on it, so we are going to read this one on a later day. I thank you so much, Shonta, for sending in these beautiful books and also for writing them. I mean, where were these when I was a kid? I thank you all so much for joining me, but it's time to sing goodbye. Are you ready? Here we go. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. My friends, goodbye to you. I hope to see you again. We'll soon be proud of all your work tonight. Now climb into bed and sleep real tight. On the count of 3, let's say goodnight. 1, 2, 3.